Ethan Carter lives alone in a Chicago apartment. His environment is defined by routine and isolation, a locked deadbolt, a quiet room, and the assumed security of a private space. He tries to maintain a standard night of sleep, but for Ethan, the pattern breaks at the same point every night. Without the trigger of an alarm or an external noise, his eyes open. The clock reads exactly 3:07 a.m. To understand why his internal clock was resetting so violently, Ethan stayed awake to watch the transition. He tracked the digital display as it rolled through the final seconds of 3:06, waiting for the environment to react. The moment the clock hit 3:07, his phone screen cut through the darkness. It was an incoming call from an unknown number, arriving at the precise second of his usual awakening. When Ethan answered, the silence on the other end was broken by a distorted whisper. It didn't ask a question, it simply stated a fact. You're awake. The precision of the timing suggests that the awakening and the call are linked. By making contact at the exact second his eyes opened, the caller confirmed that Ethan was conscious and listening. The following night, the entity shifted from a brief audio verification to a persistent digital presence. Ethan's phone illuminated with a text message containing a 4-word command: "Don't sleep tonight." Ethan responded by verifying his physical safety. He checked the deadbolts, locked the windows, and scanned the empty hallway. Despite the locked doors, the sensation of being observed remained. The structural integrity of the apartment offered no relief from the feeling that someone was standing in the room with him. By forcing the subject to remain awake, the entity weaponizes sleep deprivation to erode logic. Once the mind's psychological defenses are exhausted, physical boundaries become much easier to breach. Ethan's bed is positioned strictly against the wall. To sleep, he must face the drywall, leaving the entire volume of the room behind him as a massive visual blind spot. As he lay in that position, his phone vibrated again. Another call from the unknown number arrived, breaking the silence of his locked room. Ethan answered. The voice on the other end gave him a chilling instruction: "Don't turn around." The room is locked and Ethan is alone. Yet the command implies a physical presence occupying the space directly behind him. The entity is claiming to be exactly where Ethan cannot look. The locks and walls remain untouched, yet they have failed. By using the phone to dictate his movements, the entity has established physical control over his body within his home. Ethan remained still, but reached for a workaround. He opened his phone's camera app, intending to use the screen as a digital mirror to see into the blind spot behind him. In the camera's live feed, he saw it. A tall, featureless silhouette stood in the center of the room, watching him from the shadows. Ethan spun around to face the intruder, but the room was empty. The figure existed on the screen, but not in the physical air of the bedroom. His phone suddenly chimed with 2 final messages. The first, "You saw me." The second, "It's too late now." By the next morning, the apartment was still locked from the inside, but the bed was empty. Ethan Carter had entirely disappeared, leaving behind only the phone on his nightstand. This phenomenon behaves like a contagion. It moves through digital networks, jumping from one isolated target to the next as soon as it is acknowledged. I am documenting this because last night my internal clock reset. My eyes opened and the clock read 3:07 a.m. Then my phone lit up. Acknowledging the anomaly provides the entity the bridge it needs to enter your reality. If your phone rings at that exact minute, the only way to remain safe is to let it vibrate until the screen goes dark. Do not answer.